Professor Dogra. It's a great pleasure to be with you. And today we are going to talk about a very important subject. We are talking about environment. You have been a professor of chemistry and biotechnology at SD College Chandigarh, a premier institution. You have also been a principal of a college, and you like to spend time at the lake in Chandigarh, which is a landmark of Chandigarh, and you like to be in the open environment. Today we are sitting in the city forest in Chandigarh, and the viewers can see the map of Chandigarh behind us, which is an open hand. It signifies a lot, says a lot. So Professor Dogra, we hear so much about the degradation of environment and the problems of global warming and deforestation, and whereas the forests are the lungs, the rivers are the veins of the world. So what are your views? I mean, do you think that this problem will ever be solved? What is the problem, I would like to ask you, and then what could we do to solve this problem?
Thank you, Professor Sarwal. I'm grateful that you have invited me for this talk, and of course I will be talking about the environment, and thanks for your very nice words for me. Thank you, sir. Well, to talk about the environment, we have to define the environment, and in that case, environment in fact is the surroundings around us, and those surroundings include the biotech as well as abiotech. Biotech, when I mean, we have living organism in the form of animals and plants, but when we talk about abiotic, we talk about the various resources in the form of sun, that light we are getting, water that we need for our life, and air that we inhale, and without all these things we cannot survive. So it is very important to know about the interaction between the abiotic with the abiotic, and in that case I will point out that it is because of the human activities that there is a environment degradation, and that degradation is in fact named as the pollution that is being degrading our environment. The Mother Nature has of course given us pure air, pure water, but by our activities we have contaminated it in the form of some effluents, and then in that case these pollutants in 1960s, say, when I was just a school going boy, there was no issue about the environment. Human activities are on, but for our growth, what has happened over the years, we have carried out our activities and we have got the growth, but at the same time we miss the environment, that we have to look after this environment also. As a result, what has happened, that the pollutants because of our activities has gone into water, has gone into air, and gone into the total environment. That has created problem for us, and now we are deeply concerned about the environment. Now first we have to define what is pollutant. The Mother Nature, as I have pointed, that it has given some particular degree of composition in the air. We have nitrogen 78%, carbon dioxide 20%, and some other gases are there. But by our activities, what has happened, some carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen peroxide, some sort of hydrocarbons, all these things have added into the environment. As a result of that, we are feeling the harm which is being created to us. The pollutant is something, it can be anything, which is in fact has some permissible limits, but if it goes beyond those permissible limits, then it start causing harm to us. And I have just mentioned the case of carbon monoxide. The government of India, they have imposed that we must have the pollution test for our vehicles, because when there is a carbon emission, because of the incomplete combustion of the hydrocarbons, it results in the formation of carbon monoxide, which is a deadly gas, and it is deadly in the form that is not a poisonous gas, but it's a rogue gas. We call it rogue gas. Reason being that its reactivity with the hemoglobin in our body, which is present in the body, is so immense that it reacts and combines with hemoglobin faster than oxygen. The reactivity is about 250 times more than that of oxygen. As a result of which, the supply to the cells by the hemoglobin, that is, instead of oxyhemoglobin, it is carboxyhemoglobin, and then the cell is deprived of the oxygen. The cellular oxidation is not able to take place, and as a result, the energy part, we feel fatigue, and all these repercussions are before us. Now, these harmful gases, which because of our human activities are happening, we have to curb them, and their effect on body is constantly happening, and the body is always having a tendency to nullify its effect, and for that the skin, the liver is constantly working, but still some residual part remains there for a longer time, and in that case we have to take some remedial measures for that, and in that case I'll suggest that we must follow some rules that is in our daily life, and those rules include that we should have proper exercise, because when these pollutants enter into our body, the body needs to clean it, and that is possible only if we have a good metabolism. And for good metabolism, we need to have exercise, and that tones up our metabolism, and the body is able to overcome it. Then we have a very, very important role of the fiber, which we should include in our diet, and that diet with fiber will be acting as a natural scrubber in our body to wash away the toxins. And then we have the phytonutrients to be included in our body. That is, we should take an adequate amount of colored vegetables and fruits, and the servings should be at least 5 servings in a day, and that phytonutrients helps to curb the toxins. That toxins are responsible for creating the free radicals and responsible for causing disease. Then there is a very important decision that is taken up by our government of India in the form of Swachh Bharat, and as a result of that we are for it that there should be cleanliness, because these pathogens, they enter into water, they enter into the air, and if there is a cleanliness, then in that case these pathogens will not be there, and we will be getting clean and healthy water. Then we have a big problem in the form of this polythene, that is the plastic materials. We are having an overuse of it, and in today's time there is a ban on it, that we should curb the practice of polythene. Now this polythene, it's basically a non-polar substance, and such non-polar substance, when we throw into the environment, it mixes with the polar environment, so there is no compatibility. The polar substance will not have any compatibility with the non-polar, and it remains aloof for years together and is choking our environment. So it's very important that we should take the minimum use of this plastic material in our life, and we try to curb it. We have of course attempted to bring biodegradation of this polythene by means by which we have brought some grafting onto the polythene, resulting in giving us some functionality in the basic polymer of polythene, by which it gets some assimilation, and for that in 2009 we have a publication in American Journal where we have pointed out that through soil burials we are able to do and succeed in getting it, but some research is still to be carried out. And then, as I have mentioned about carbon monoxide, I must talk about this carbon dioxide also. This carbon dioxide is also a very, very major pollutant and is responsible for global warming, because it is basically the greenhouse effect which is there in that case. And now the very good sign is that scientists in Tanzania has of course discovered that by using this carbon and this silicon surface, spikes of that, by using these nanocrystals, they have tried to curb or convert this carbon dioxide, atmospheric carbon dioxide, into ethanol, which we can use as a fuel. So attempts are on, and we should keep always these attempts on to see that our environment is not degraded. And last but not the least, I must talk about that because of our lifestyle, we are, almost everybody is suffering in one form or other form with the disease, and particularly in that case our lifestyle include that we avoid ourselves to go in the sunlight, and not getting adequate sunlight, we are not able to get an adequate amount of vitamin D. So vitamin BD is basically in two forms present in our skin, that is vitamin D2 and D3, and these D2 and D3 present in skin gets synthesized into vitamin D, that is, which is further converted into a hormone, and that is known as calcitriol. That hormone is basically there to monitor the absorption of calcium and phosphorus in our body. So those who are taking just calcium and phosphorus other way around will not be getting the absorption until unless they have this vitamin D present in their body. And in that case, I will say that we should have at least 20 to 30 minutes an exposure to the sunlight, by virtue of which there will be an adequate amount of the vitamin D per day, and we should change our lifestyle to have more exposure to the sunlight. So with these words, I'm really thankful for this invitation to give me talk on that. Thank you.
Professor Dogra, that was a very enlightening exposition on the problems of environment and also what we can do as ordinary people to preserve our environment. The main problem, as I perceive it, is that even the educated people, they are not doing what needs to be done. So the essence has to be abundance of deeds and fewness of words. So if we do not take care of the environment, we definitely are heading for a disaster, and it is in our hands to protect our beautiful earth, God's supreme creation, with so many birds, so many trees, so many plants, so much beauty all around us. We should preserve it and enjoy it. Thank you, viewers. We look forward to another episode of Nai Duniya. Please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button. Thank you very much.